Disasters can happen anytime and anywhere. It is important that we are all prepared for them, including blind and partially sighted people, deaf, hard of hearing and deaf-blind people, and their family members and personal assistants. Take a look at our tips on what to do before, during, and after a disaster. Check if you live in an area at risk from floods, earthquakes, or wildfires. Find out how to prepare for and deal with disasters, and consider what problems you might have in the event of a disaster. Create a social network of people who will help you. These can be relatives, friends, neighbors, or co-workers. Agree on how they would help you during and after a disaster. Bear in mind that these people may not always be available or may not be able to reach you. When you are asleep, always keep your hearing aid in the same place. When you are asleep, always keep your glasses and white cane placed in the same place. Protective measures such as evacuation, reception and care in accommodation facilities, nuclear, chemical and biological protection may be ordered to ensure the safety of the public in the event of an emergency. When evacuating, follow the instructions of the competent services and say that you need help. Take the essential items you have prepared with you in the event that a disaster happens. When communicating with people with disabilities, consider ethical principles and equal status of the person you're talking to. Be respectful. Get the person's attention and introduce yourself. Describe the situation or hazard. Ask if they need help. Stand in front of the deaf person, in their field of view. Reduce noise and lighten the room. In the event of a power cut, a battery-powered torch can help. It is important that the person has a good view of the person they are talking to, especially of the lips and face. Speak clearly, slowly, and in short sentences. If the person does not understand what you are saying, repeat it or say it in another way. You can communicate a lot by pointing to an object, nodding, shaking your head, and so on. Use your phone or take a piece of paper and write down what you want to say. If a sign language interpreter is helping you to communicate, look at the person you're talking to, not the interpreter, as this is the best way to see how the person is feeling. When communicating with a blind person, speak first and/or gently touch their hand and introduce yourself. Describe the situation or hazard. Ask if the person needs help or an escort. When communicating, use short and clear messages. Replace non-specific words, such as here, there, with a description of the situation, straight ahead, to your right. Avoid nodding and other nonverbal messages. Check that the person has understood the information. If they have a guide dog for the blind, they should take it with them to guide them. If the person uses a white cane, they should also take it with them. Guide the person by offering your elbow. Adjust the speed of movement or walking to the blind person. Walk one step ahead of them. Draw their attention to obstacles. There's an overturned chair in front of you. In the event of an earthquake, look for shelter under solid tables, along interior load-bearing walls, or in door frames in load-bearing walls. Squat down, bend your head to your knees, protect it with your elbows, and cover the nape of your neck with the palms of your hands. If you are outside, go to an open space. If you are trapped in rubble after an earthquake, stay calm. If it gets dusty, cover your mouth and nose with any protective covering to hand. A handkerchief, part of your clothing. Strike an object against a metal installation or a wall at regular intervals. When in a flooded building, move to a higher floor. When out in the open, move to a location that cannot be reached by water. Do not cross a watercourse, even if it only reaches up to your knees. Respect roadblocks and underpasses. Do not drive on flooded roads. Remove objects that could catch fire from the building's surroundings. If there is smoke in the air, close the doors and windows. Turn off ventilation and air conditioning systems. If you live alone, get in touch with people who can help you. Ask them to inspect the damage to the building and equipment and to help you eliminate the consequences of the disaster. Do not enter the building if there is damage to it or if its structure is damaged. If there is no electricity, use a battery-powered torch for lighting. Do not light matches or smoke. In the event of drinking water supply disruptions, follow the instructions about boiling water or use bottled water. Flooding can damage buildings, flood basements, and lower floors. Pump the water from the flooded premises and remove the debris and flooded equipment. Clean, disinfect, and dry the premises and equipment. Discard items that cannot be cleaned. Throw away food that came into contact with the flood water. Follow the instructions of the competent authorities on how to return to your home after a wildfire. Ventilate the premises only after their approval and when there is no smoke or smell of smoke in the air. In any European Union country, 112 is always available free of charge if you need emergency medical assistance or help from the fire brigade, other emergency services, or the police. Deaf and hard of hearing people can send a text message, SMS, to 112. The help, information, and communication methods shown in the film are just some of the options for dealing with emergencies. They are shown symbolically and are for information only. The film sponsor accepts no responsibility for their implementation or any damage or injury that may occur. You can find more information at www.gov.si.